And welcome to Havoc Wargaming, dedicated to bringing you the uncommon. For those of you who haven't met me yet, my name is Ron, and today we're going to do a review of Black Site Studios' West Cedars Apartment building. So let's get started. This is a kit that I've been interested in for some time. It reminds me a lot of certain architecture in Los Angeles when I was growing up in the 1970s that I thought would just be perfect for a number of different games that I play. Be useful for Spectra operations or Black Ops by Osprey. It might be useful for Sanguine's Plausible Deniability. It would be useful for 7 TV. Certainly Don't Look Back. Maybe in some cases some other post-apocalyptic games, though it is not at all worn down or run down like you might expect in those sort of games. So I finally got the kit. I've finally put it together, and let's take a look at this. Let's go to the building table. This is the almost completed model of the West Cedars by Black Site Studios. As you can see already, this is a magnificent size. This is certainly destined to be an important part of a game table, usable for any game, any modern game. In fact, I say modern, I think I'll be using this for 7 TV and passing it off as a 1960s building. The only challenge with that is that they did put a hashtag on the side of this, but I'm planning on getting rid of that. I did like the rest of the look of the paperwork on that, but the hashtag's a little problematic for me. I could use it as an apartment building. I can use it as a single family residence, as a wealthy person's home. It could be business offices, work for hostage situations, for narco syndicate game, something I am in fact putting together. I think it'd be useful for that, for a crime boss's home. I put a figure here. Unfortunately, I don't have any more suitable figures to go with it right now. So I have here a 28mm Perry War of the Roses Noble, but it gives you an idea of what the scale of the building is in some of the various places. It has 2 entrances from outside. There's a double door here and well, 3 entrances actually. There's a double door here in the front, a double door to the rear. I'll show you that in a moment. And over here there's the stair entrance to the second floor, or what in Britain they will refer to as the first floor. I'm going to go ahead and show you the back. I'll turn around and show you the whole side of the buildings. Here's the back of the building. Did have a couple little issues. You can see an example here. These pieces were painted on the wrong side. I don't think that's going to be a big fix. This piece up here too. That won't be a problematic fix. I do clean off my MDF before I build it, but I still get some fingerprints and stuff. So there's a few places that need to be cleaned. That can be easily done even afterwards with a wet rag. It is a good idea to wash these down. Not too much because it's MDF and the MDF will warp, but you want to wipe them down with a damp cloth and you can get a lot of that junk off and keep your fingers from getting filthy and getting from the parts to parts. You'll also notice there's a couple places where you can see where they had been stuck to the rest of the wood, where this sort of sprues. These are easily touched up just with a little bit of Sharpie. The doors all do work. The mechanism for making them work is pretty easy. Some of their kits I have had doors, or more importantly the hinge pieces, missing. This one I have a ton of extras. In fact, this came with a frightening number of extra parts. You can see here that it came with some clear plastic parts as well. It doesn't have that for all the windows, but certain major windows like this one and those 3 on the side. There's also 2 air conditioning units. I thought 2 was too much for the building, so I'm only going to put the 1 on, and then I'll have another one to use for some other building. There's also some piping and conduit and things that I'm going to glue on later. Some extra detail work. Oh, there's another entrance I forgot about. There's 2 more entrances I forgot about. There's a double door entrance here, and there's a door on the side here. Now, like many of their kits, like all their kits I'm familiar with, well, except for the lighthouse, this entirely comes apart. So that comes off so that you can get into the building. And you can see, I'm going to pick this up so you can see it better. But you can see there's several different rooms, room layout. There's a floor piece. I'm going to show you a copy of that. There's some paper glue-on parts here. This will be floor tiles that'll fill that center aisle on this and the floor below it. Actually, I've only got 2 of those. I got 3 floors. That's problematic. There's a elevator shaft. You can see the front entrance of that elevator there. That's a nice feature. It's amazing how many buildings they don't think to include elevators or stairways. I mean, technically, I think this building would have had a full stair and a doorway, but you know, there's some details you can live without as well. But I think for the kind of games that this is likely to be used for, in a lot of, like in a hostage situation, I think having the locations of the stairs and the elevators is actually going to be pretty important. Here's the next floor. Again, there's a connecting room here. There's some doors connecting to rooms within, another elevator. Here's the ground floor, similar floor plan to the one directly above it. Yeah, I think this building has an awful lot of use, which is good because it is big and it is not inexpensive. So again, you know, very, very useful for many different things. It's a good value for the money though. As I say, it's not inexpensive, but it could have been a lot more money. It is pre-painted MDF. It is a large model. This is a 12-inch ruler, so you can see the building it's just under 15 inches wide, and it is about a foot deep. As long as we're doing that, it's about 10 inches tall. So it's a pretty large structure. You can see the scale difference between. Now the Helm house is kind of small for a house, but it's still a pretty big model on its own right compared to some other companies. It's just over 8 inches and 5 inches deep. Gives you some idea on how it compares. Also, I'm really looking forward to using it for gameplay and for shots. I mean, look at this. I think this is kind of cool. With these big windows here, we'll be able to see figures coming down that hall in outside photographs. I think it's going to look really cool when it's being used on the game playing table. So I haven't seen a bunch of these out there. I'm not sure how well they're selling, but I think it is a very nice model. It is kind of specific. You can't use it for all things. It is the nature of the kind of architecture that it is, but I don't think you could get away with it for anything that's before 1950s at earliest. But all the way up to modern day, I think it's very useful. To me, it looks perfect. I'm thinking about putting it for a DLB game on a beach map I have as a apartment right on the beach in, say, Malibu or something. So that's it. West Cedars building. And there it is. The West Cedars Apartment Complex by Black Site Studios. A very useful model, very large. It could certainly host many modern skirmish games entirely just in that building. Many usable parts for gaming, several different floors, all removable, all with full interiors, with operating doors. And very, very nice model. It was not inexpensive, but when you consider just how much model there is and how large the structure is and how much gaming capability it has, I think you'll find it is well worth the money, and I recommend this kit to anybody. If you've got this kit yourself or you have further questions, go ahead and put comments about your opinions of the kit or questions you may have down in the comments down below. If you have any idea for further content you'd be interested in seeing here on Cry Havoc Wargaming, we look for that in the comment section as well. If you have enjoyed this video, or if you've gotten something useful out of the content, I hope that you will hit like. And if you would like to continue to receive notifications for videos like this that might help you better determine how to spend your money or time in your tabletop wargaming hobby, then please hit subscribe. Until next time, cheers.